Hello, everyone. This is Ross from Retro Dream Beam. I'm an eBay seller full time. I've been doing this with my fiance Netta for a couple years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. So I'm going to go into what we were shipping out today on Monday, and this was a really good weekend. Very consistent on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for quantity and sales. This is what it used to feel like. I would say more in 2023, maybe a couple of random months in 2024. So I'm just going to jump right into it because we were low on time. So the first thing is this fiber optic clock right here. It's like a flower one. I tested this with her dad, who's good with electronics and mechanical stuff. The clock works, the light works. Really cool, old vintage type of light thing. I remember my mom, I think, had a couple of these back in the day. This ended up selling for $32 plus shipping. Everything's going to be plus shipping, so I'll just save us time right now. All right, moving along, we have a combo order with the Lord of the Rings trading card game. I started getting some sales from it, so they purchased the Aragorn Legolas deck right there. They did get the Aragorn deck. These were both open, so I showed all the cards and rares that they were getting. And then they were getting this open pack of the Two Towers, which ended up having a foil card and another one of the ring cards. I would show them, but I'm pretty low in time. Let me see. They spent 18 plus 6. Sorry, they paid at different times. So that's 24 plus 15. So $39 for that. All right, let's move along to the next item. It's really cool to get the sales in from that already. I got a set of these 8. These are miniature wargaming objective tokens. They're acrylic pieces. I don't know what for which company made them or for what war game it's for, or miniature tabletop game, but it has 1 through 8 on one side, and then it has objective on the second side. So someone's just going to use those to denote different objectives in a miniature game. They're acrylic, which is a pretty good quality. All right, moving along, we sold some foreign games. I get a lot of these foreign games. I think these are German Streumva right here. Some kind of cow political game when I was looking it up. These are really interesting because they have different numbers out of 200. So only 200 of this card game was made. So this one's 138 and 28. The person did a combo order. It was $30, $40, $41 for both of these total. So I always pick up these unique card games, board games, especially because I saw it was kind of it was well done for something that was only made out of 200. And I think it was made in Germany. So it's awesome to find stuff like that. That's the stuff I look for. And then moving along, we have another vintage, unique-ish, quirky card game. This is Earl Gillespie baseball game. I don't know if I said his name right or wrong. I don't know anything about sports and stuff, but this had a lot of cool different cards that had baseballs, and you're just playing baseball within the 2 card decks. So that ended up selling for $12. All right, next up is going to be the plastic company right here. What were these? These were it says late German infantry. So I get a bunch of different random sprues. So there are going to be bits and pieces missing on these 2 sprues. People still buy them because you'll still have figures or the other bits they'll still want. This sold for $12. All right, next up is going to be a book. This is not one I've ever read. This is a novel, Last Days by Adam Neville right here. It's a pretty big, thicker. It's not a hardcover, but it's a trade paperback type of thing. This looks like some kind of sci-fi mystery or something like that. Maybe some suspense. That sold for $15.19. We got a lot of different types of things selling today. We got a sock monkey right here. We've grabbed a couple of these. This is kind of a really generic one, just basic sock monkey. I remember we got one with she had a coconut bra on and then a hula dress, and then someone messaged me and they're they loved sock monkeys and they wanted to know if there was a story with it because they would handwrite a story and put it with their a puppet. I never responded to that message because I was I don't know anything about that particular sock monkey. This one sold for $11. That one that I just described sold for more, but that was before we were doing YouTube, I believe. All right, moving along, we have an I Spy PC game. Really cool. I played these back when I was a kid during the 90s, early 2000s. This is I Spy Fantasy. So yeah, it's basically going to be the books where you're looking for specific stuff. On the PC, you're just going to go ahead and click it. So yeah, I know they have a lot of mobile games, but nothing beats the original stuff like this. I like to pick up the PC games. It sold for $8.99. It's not super crazy, but I do sell them occasionally. I do better with the box sets. All right, moving along, we have a fighting fantasy book. I've only ever found 2 of these. This is The Forest of Doom. This is by Ian Livingstone. So this one sold for $30. This, you go through a little adventure. You have a character sheet that you make at the beginning, and then you go through a bunch of puzzles. It's kind of hard. You kind of have to perish in the game and then kind of restart and then memorize what ways are traps and what ways are not. Yeah, the only other one that we got was a damaged one, and the only time I found these were right after I found out that it existed. All right, moving along, we have a that was part of the Lord of the Rings trading card. All right, a Warhammer 40K sheet right here. Let's see. Where did I put this one? This one's like a smaller sheet. Give me a second. I'll find it. All right. So this is a, which one is this? Kill Zone? No, Kill Team. Sorry, I'm all over the place today. We have a lot to do. This is just a quick start rule book right here. So yeah, it's just literally not the rule book. It's just like the little sheet. So yeah, just the little sheets. Like it's sold for $5.99. These are probably something that someone's going to demo the game. They're going to teach their friend. They need more handouts. So all right. We got that one. And then next up is going to be this RPG book, a pirate one, the Pirate's Guide to Freeports, hardcover RPG book. A lot of cool stuff in this. We've sold this one before. I think when we originally got it, we got like 8 copies. We only have like 1 left. So yeah, it's just going to have a lot of pirate stuff in there. It's still kind of cracking as I'm opening it. So I'll only do 1 more page because I want the customer to realize like basically how brand spanking new this is. This ended up selling for $25 to a repeat buyer. We got a lot of repeat buyers. I don't know where to put this. I'm on a space today. I don't know if I missed any of the other repeat buyers. Not yet, so I'll mention that in just a second. All right, moving along, we have some War Machine Hordes tokens. These are going to be like little focus tokens. They're in a little baggie, so I have to find them. Try to be prepared for these videos, but there's a lot of stuff. It was like 38 or 40 items. So right here, these are just generic ones. They're like a brown color. So you use these tokens for the warcasters to show basically how much like energy or mana they have to do their spells and abilities. And then these other little bigger circles, you use dry erase markers to talk about like what effects are affecting different creatures or like storm effects or all sorts of things in the game. These sold for $11.99. I do pretty well with those tokens, so I always grab them. All right, moving along. I don't know if this was a combo order. It was. People were paying at separate times. I'm not sure why it wasn't like combining. All right, so there are 2 Battletech maps right here. So it's going to be, these are from, I think, the 1985 Game of Armored Combat, like one of the core sets. These normally come in packs of 4. So there's going to be this one right here. This one is the first one right there. And then there's going to be another one. The cat's making noise right now, trying to get attention. This one right here. These are like card stock. So yeah, Battletech, I found out recently. I talked to someone that plays the game a bunch. The rules haven't changed in 30 years. So anything works as long as you know like what direction the hexes on the terrain are, like basically what's forward, what's south, what's uphill, what's downhill. And I think you can use any hex size, but these are actually from these sets. So this ended up selling for $30 as a combo order. So I got a bunch of those. I already did a video on it. If you want to go ahead and look at our video of me going through all those maps. All right, next up is going to be a combo order again. Really lucky, like I said, it was like this reminds me of 2023. This is going to be some Sedition Wars, which is cool minis or not game. I don't know much about it other than when I got these figures, I started looking up. So these look like blue player pieces. And then these were like little alien spiders. Honestly, they look like the movie Aliens, like those little like ones that come out of the eggs and like go into the chest and heart or whatever, like those little hatcher ones. That's not what these are. It's for Sedition Wars. And then there's this guy just looks like a big beefy like robot mech. So these ended up selling. They paid in 2 separate spots too. So 25 plus 12, so $37 for more of these Sedition Wars things. All I did for those was put Sedition Wars, and I put as many keywords. So I was like alien, crawler, and stuff because I couldn't figure out online how to denote like which figures they were, but people have been figuring it out and purchasing them. All right, moving along, we have another Lord of the Rings card. This is Uruk Captain right here. This one happens to be a rare. It just says in this corner right here what set it's from and that it's a rare. Oh, is it not working? It's okay. But yeah, this went to a repeat buyer for $5.59. So yeah, a lot of repeat buyers. I think we're finally at the point where we just have enough like customer service, enough items, enough like getting repeat different unique things for people to purchase, where we're finally getting piles of repeat buyers. It took almost 4 years, so it took a long time. That's kind of like what you hope originally is when you like do eBay and you do good service and then like you have good stuff, good prices for people, that you would get it more often. And now it's been happening the past few months, kind of been saving us for some really bad days too. All right, next up, repeat buyer, 2 advanced squad leader hex maps, number 26 and 27. Advanced squad leader is going to be a little miniature. It's going to like, they use like little chits. It's a war game. It's like a board game, war game. Chits, not the other word, CHITS. I just think it's funny that is what they are. Those little squares, that's what they're called. And then they represent like infantry. There's tanks, there's airplanes. They represent all stuff. So yeah, just 2 generic maps. They have these like, I don't know if you can see them on camera. This one says 26, the other one says 27. You can put them together. $11.99. I got a ton of those recently, the cardboard ones, but they're still in my car. I have other stuff to list. I'll do a video and then I'll start listing them. I got a bunch of them, so that will be a lot of fun. All right, next up is going to be Alter Ego graphic novel. Yeah, I always grab like the unique-ish comic stuff. I already told you I grab stuff from a person that like knows comics, so I get like basically the chaff or like the more unique stuff. They usually sell for like, I don't know, 6, 8, 10. I've gotten lucky for 20, 25, but it's more around this. This sold for $9.38 to repeat. Oh, sorry, $9. Yeah, it's really sunny today. We had to adjust our situation over here. Yeah, there's like this Dracula and some like, it looks like a Robin character. It's not Robin. Superhero thing, $9.38. All right, next up is going to be a 50% complete British paratroopers Red Devils by Italeri right here. We get these miniature boxes all the time. Even incomplete people still buy them. This ended up selling for $12.74. I think this was in one of our recent hauls. They kind of go pretty quick, those. Like, I just lay out which ones are still there and people still like them. Obviously, I would get more if they were complete, but they're still useful miniatures. All right, moving along, we have an original Uno. I kind of grab a bunch of different types of Unos. I remember like our first yard sailing. My brother got us into yard sailing. We went to this community one, and he felt like he misled us at the time, but we ended up getting like a lot of Unos and like some other board games. I think almost everything but one thing sold from that yard sale. So it actually ended up being really good for us, but there are different types of Unos. People love this game. They like making up rules, house rules, and the good thing about selling is people usually want the specific backs, the specific fronts, like the arch change, the style changes. So this one sold for $9. So I always look it up. I try to look for like what year it is and like what other people are doing with those. All right, moving along, we have some Legos. It's like a little lot of, it was like a big lot right here. These are all like black, yellow. These were like vintage ones. It has something on this like boat piece that said RES. So I put like a lot of, it was what, 50 plus vintage black, yellow, white Legos. There was a couple of minifigs. One had like a sailor shirt on. You can probably picture it if you're into Legos. These sold for $14.99. I like selling the Legos. We don't find them too often, but yeah. All right. This one looks super cool. The Dark Side. What does that one say? It's reflecting the Gamekeeper. I don't know if you can see it. This is a deck box. It's just like kind of like a unique one. It's like a pretty good plastic. It has this like demon knight with wings figure right there. This is probably going to hold like 80 cards, so it won't hold a commander deck, which is very important to talk about that in listings. So a lot of people like Magic the Gathering, and there is a deck size that holds 100 cards, and you need to kind of specify if it's 80 cards like this or 100, because people who play Commander for Magic the Gathering, which need the 100 card deck boxes, they want the more unique ones for their decks. They try to match it up. This is still a cool deck box. This sold for $20. If this was 100 counts, I think I could have asked for more and it would have gotten more money. I don't know if that's like for a game or anything, but I saw it. It was cool. I picked it up and it sold today. All right, moving along, we have this board game. It's 99% complete. Eggs and Empires. Eagle Griffin Games right here. It just had a lot of unique like dark fantasy art. Some of it's colorful. Yeah, there's like all these like eggs and stuff on the front. So yeah, obviously that's part of the game Eggs and Empires. I haven't played this one, but like I said, I pick up all these unique card games. Sold for $7.50. Probably could have gotten a little bit more if it was complete. I think it was missing like a small little token, which usually for these games, like when I look at the rules, I'll be like, oh, that's like a coin token. Most board games, you don't actually use all the coins or all the money from Monopoly, like that type of thing. All right, moving along is this set. I'm gonna have to like reorganize it. It's going to be a bridge set. So yeah, it has this like blue, like a teal blue back, and there's a butterfly on it, and it has a bridge score pad in this little container box that it originally came in. This only sold for $6. I got a bunch of these really cheap at a estate sale. I was cherry picking playing card decks, and then the lady's like, how about like $25 for everything or something like that? And I looked at it, there was like 50 or 60, and it was like the last hour sale. I'm like, you know what, done, fine, I'll just grab it all. So yeah, that was a fun estate sale thing. That doesn't always happen, but we get lucky sometimes with that stuff. All right, I sold some of those decks for more, and I only have a couple left. I sold most of those from estate sale. Moving along, we have a combo order for 2 HeroClix maps. This one, this is like the prison one. It doesn't have the label right here. They normally have the label names in the bottom right corner. This is the indoor prison from the Sinister set. So Sinister is just going to be like, that's like an older set, I believe. Yeah, that one's going to be early 2000s. So yeah, this is just a full-on prison. So these are gridded maps where you play the game on. usually you roll dice to see who picks the map, or you go to like an event like a comic store, and like usually people just like agree on what maps they're going to use. Usually it's like whatever the set is, the most recent set. So this is Galactic Guardians Marvel set, a little bit newer compared to that one. This is Nowhere to Hide or something, some kind of, yeah, I guess that's just what it's called, Nowhere to Hide. And then there's gonna, I don't want to unfold this one too much, it's gonna take too much time, I'm sorry guys, but yeah, these end up selling for $17.98. The maps generally aren't worth too much, but when you have a bunch, I get lucky with combo orders. So like when I get the HeroClix stuff, it usually has like these map throw-ins. So I just go ahead, I'll save up like 30 or 40 on this table, just lay them all out, take all the pictures and call it a day. But yeah, they're not like usually super expensive. There are some rare ones. I don't know which ones I've sold. There's like some cool vinyl ones. I want to say it's by like a Gale Force 9 or something. Those were, I think, pretty expensive because they were like a vinyl one. All right, moving along. We have a Lego Police bike right here. Yeah, just this one I knew I could sell separately. Really cool. It has a couple of pieces like on it, like as the lights. This is like a vintage one. It sold for $8. So better. I didn't have to lot that one up. All right, moving along. We have an RPG book, Sun and Storm. What's it say? In Kryodon. So this is going to be like some kind of little RPG booklet that you can use probably with like D&D rules or Pathfinder. It probably says on the back like what edition you can use this for. Really cool like sky, water, wyvern right here. Really good art, $18.22. I think this actually might be its own fantasy RPG game. So I'm going to move on, but it might be its own game and not like something used for D&D. All right, next up is going to be a lot of 3 of these standard mini USA board game sleeves. These are 64 by 42 millimeters. It just says on the packaging. These are used for like Gloomhaven, Attack Modifier decks, smaller cards, and board games. Board games are this sold to repeat buyer for $11, which is pretty good. I think I went somewhere recently. These were selling for like $4 each. So I guess they didn't have access to a game store with them. But yeah, these are like people get really picky with their board game sleeves. People want the right size, which makes sense. So it fits the card. And then they want the right microns, which is like how thick or thin the sleeve is. And then they want the specific brand. It's kind of crazy, but that is how it is. So anytime I see any kind of sleeves and they're cheap, I grab them because I know someone is looking for the exact size, the exact micron. I generally don't care with my board games. I have like a pile of just so much random stuff. I don't have like a brand loyalty with them. As long as the card's sleeved and like it gets less like finger grease and stuff, I'm good with that. But I know other people care. This sold for $11. All right. Moving along, I finally pulled one out and remembered it. Dr. Seuss, Horton Hears a Who. We sold a couple of these. This one is the gray shirt, the small size. Don't do well with shirts. Annetta listed all of these for me. They're in like a green bin in the other room. We got them extremely cheap. This sold for $11.24. I'm going to go ahead and bag this up right here to make sure that like no dusties or anything gets on it. Get on it. All right. Moving along, we have some metal miniatures, Republican Roman Hastati advancing troops, like just a big bag of these. We do pretty well with these. I had a dry spell for a while where I wasn't finding much, but I had a bunch, and now we recently got a ton. I haven't even done all the videos yet of all the other like miniatures we've gotten. But yeah, this sold for $23.99. People love these kind of military miniatures. Actually, any of the particular miniatures. All right, moving along is something I gambled on during an auction last year. I bought a big box of painted wargaming miniatures. They were labeled as like the skirmish. I don't know what the skirmish means exactly, but I guess I probably won't be able to show them. I think these are either the first lot or second lot that sold. These sold for $35.23 as a combo order. So these are going to have like helmets, crossbowmen. They have flocking and they're based on the bottom. So there's like green stuff on the bottom to show that they're on grass. They're pretty well painted. Maybe I can do that. Maybe. They're probably slightly better than what I can do. I'm not good with putting like the grass and stuff on the base. And these 5 lots are little spear infantrymen. So yeah, I can't really show it too well on camera right now because we're keeping it static because we're having issues with the lighting. But this is the first time I've done those. So I'm excited to sell the painted ones. All right, let's see if Annetta's going to see if she can show you guys real quick. So there's going to be crossbowmen, and then there's going to be spearmen. But I'm going to move along, look for the next item. Okay, she said no, it's not working out. It's going to be a Terry Pratchett book. We sold a we sold a lot of these before. So when I went back to the person that had all of these, I missed one. so I couldn't put it up with my lots already sold. The Color of Magic, apparently there was like 40 or 50 books in the series. This one's really good condition. It sold for $11.24. All right, we're almost done here. We have the Malifaux. These are like character stat cards. You open them up, they're like little booklets. Malifaux is going to be by Word Miniatures. It's kind of like this skirmish game, so you only get like 6, 8, 10 figures against someone else's figures, and it has like think like a kind of like a horror. They'll have like a clown faction. They'll have like a dark sewer faction. It's really like hipster is kind of like the word I would use, but I don't think that's like correct. It's people like it. It's not as expensive as the other stuff, but people do like Malifaux. It sold for $7.50. It looks like an interesting game. I think it's definitely stands out compared to other miniature games. And then last up, or actually we have 2 more items. I'm sorry. I'm not going to unfurl this. This is Davey Bowie, the musician. I don't know too much about music stuff and sports stuff, but I have listened to some of his songs before. This poster is huge. It sold for $22. I think we got this from an auction house that was moving. It was kind of just like in our big pile of stuff. We are going to ship it probably in the poster tubes that the post office sends out. If not, we'll have to like handcraft a brown big box into a like the rectangle. Excuse me. All right. Last up, I think on another platform, I don't know if it was Bonanza or Mercari, but we sold a lot of 6 Gloomhaven Hound standees. So these are just the little, there's 6 of them for the Gloomhaven game. There's just like a monster type. There's like 40 or 50 different monster types. I got a Gloomhaven that was incomplete, so I just parted out the whole thing. And then like when people probably have these damage or they spill drinks on them, or they just want more, if they just want to add more to their game, or if they want to make some custom maps, you can do a lot with the Gloomhaven world and extra bits or pieces. Is sold, I think, for $6. All right. That's everything. We have to get packing. I do have like other videos eventually coming. I've just been like, okay, Aneta just finished Kingdom Come Part 2. What? Kingdom Come Deliverance Part 2. So she did Part 1. She like binged that like last month or 2 months ago, and she just binged Part 2. She's sad that she was looking up like interviews, and she said that they might not make more in this realm or story. She wants more because she felt like there was basically a cliffhanger at the end of Part 2. If you play it a certain way, I guess. It's a story game that you get to do different choices, and then that affects the world and the characters that you're interacting with. So she said the particular way she played it, it's left in a cliffhanger. So, all right. And then I was sourcing stuff. It was exhausting at some auction. The competition was fierce, but I did get cool stuff. So I went from like a dry spell of very little stuff to like too much stuff where it's kind of like sitting in our room and driving it out of crazy. So I've just been focusing on listing. And of course, now we have a bunch of stuff selling, which means more time to pack, less time to list. Good problem to have. All right, so thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I hope everyone had a good weekend.